Jimmy Kimmel's YouTube surge evaporated faster than a Democrat politician's promises. Down from a blockbuster 22 million return to under 150,000, a staggering 99.3% drop, with post-suspension clips trailing his pre-suspension baseline by 50 to 67%. For one night, Jimmy Kimmel looked unstoppable. His much-hyped return to Jimmy Kimmel Live on September 23 was promoted like an event, the late-night equivalent of a Super Bowl. And for that single night, the numbers backed it up. His comeback monologue exploded on YouTube with 22 million views, a viral high watermark that dwarfed anything he'd posted in recent memory. But that was then. Within days, the same channel that racked up tens of millions of clicks saw engagement collapse into the low hundreds of thousands, and on some nights, well below that. By early October, most Kimmel clips were drawing just 100,000 at the 150,000 views, representing a 99.3% drop from that return night surge. Even more telling, those numbers are 50 to 67% lower than his pre-suspension baseline, which typically hovered between 200,000 and 300,000 views per episode. The September 23 spike wasn't a miracle. ABC and mainstream outlets pushed his return hard, but the data tells the real story. It wasn't a rebirth, it was a sugar high. A single episode went viral, not the show itself. The millions who showed up for the spectacle didn't stick around for the substance. When the hype machine shut off, the audience did too. For years, Jimmy Kimmel had modest but steady YouTube engagement, 200 to 300,000 views per monologue clip. Not great, but stable. Now, that foundation is crumbling. Post-suspension episodes have failed to return to baseline. Instead of bouncing back, Kimmel's clips have slipped beneath it, sometimes dipping below 100,000. For a channel with more than 20 million subscribers, that's not just a slump, that's an exodus. Despite this stunning fall-off, mainstream coverage has been almost non-existent. The big 22 million spike got headlines. The slow-motion collapse afterward? Crickets. That silence isn't surprising. Modern late-night ratings are politically charged. His comeback was marketed as a victory lap, but the numbers undercut the story. Jimmy Kimmel has long positioned himself as a partisan voice that brings short-term spikes, but not lasting loyalty. Once the spotlight faded, the casual audience did what casual audiences always do. They moved on. Let's do the math. Return night views, 22 million. Recent nightly views, 100 to 150,000. Drop from peak, 99.33%. Pre-suspension baseline, 200 to 300,000. Current versus baseline, down 50 to 67%. For every 100 people who watch Jimmy Kimmel's comeback monologue, only one is still watching. This collapse shows what networks don't like to say out loud. Viral spikes don't equal a loyal audience. When the flash fades, the crash begins. Jimmy Kimmel may have owned one news cycle, but he lost the weeks that follow. Late-night television used to shape culture. Now it chases fleeting bursts of virality. Jimmy Kimmel's fall is one of the clearest examples of that new reality. Jimmy Kimmel's comeback night wasn't the start of a renaissance, it was the high point of a cliff. And now the numbers, not the headlines, tell the story everyone else is pretending not to see. Jimmy Kimmel Live nose dived off the edge of the tall cliff, and the satisfying splat at the bottom was everything we'd hoped for. Apologies to Matt Damon. The corner had dibs on the mic for the autopsy of the ratings remains.